According to Stats SA's mortality report, heart disease is the fourth leading cause of death in South Africa. The Cardio Metabolic Institute reports that more and more men under the age of 40 are having heart attacks. Heavy drinking, stress and unhealthy eating habits are said to be some of the contributing factors. Well, let's discuss this situation now with Nicole Jennings from Pharma Dynamics. Nicole, good afternoon. Not a pretty picture. I mean, I'm sure those statistics are really painting a grim picture, showing us the challenges we face, and I'm sure the pandemic has made things worse as well.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of the pandemic, we saw just people visiting their healthcare professionals to actually have their blood pressure checked, have their cholesterol levels checked. That also dipped significantly with people avoiding visiting their healthcare professionals. And what's additionally worrying in this case is the fact that hypertension is known as a silent killer. So in many cases, people won't necessarily present with symptoms until the symptoms are for a heart attack or for heart failure, and it's actually too late, which is why, it's so important to maintain focus on chronic disease, even in the light of the pandemic, and to still visit healthcare professionals regularly, because early diagnosis, early treatment, and lifestyle intervention is key to treating cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, I mean, heart attacks. Can you see a heart attack coming?
So by the time you actually experience the symptoms of the heart attack, you've probably already had an underlying condition for several years. Hypertension, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. These are some of the contributions to heart attack. And yes, when the event is taking place, you will present with certain symptoms. Many people have a fluttering sensation in the chest, or they have a irregular heartbeat, pain in the arm, a feeling of fatigue, and even a feeling of anxiety. All of these different symptoms are indicative of an actual cardiac event taking place.
Yeah, I mean, we've got these misconceptions, I guess, born out of what we knew many years ago, that heart attacks would tend to affect older people, people who have a sedentary lifestyle, or, as you said, we've got some of these lifestyle-type disease, these non-communicable diseases they've had for a long time, like high levels of cholesterol and stuff. But we're seeing younger men under the age of 40 nowadays also getting these heart attacks. From your understanding, what could be driving this? Similar factors as in older people?
So, I mean, you would expect, as the body ages with an aging population, it would make sense that heart attacks and other organs would be more fragile than in younger people. But what's concerning is the fact that heart attacks showing up more often in younger people shows that it's not necessarily genetic or related to aging. It's related to lifestyle. And one of the major drivers in poor lifestyle choice is also urbanization, where you've got many people working long hours, traveling, not always being able to have home-cooked meals. And of course, the stress of that also contributes to behaviors such as excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, eating fast food, eating junk food, foods that are high in saturated fats and salt content. And over time, all of these different factors have a very negative impact on the cardiovascular system.
Yeah, I mean, you've just identified a few things that could be factors. One would guess that, for example, if excessive drinking is a contributing factor, you should not be an excessive drinker. Try and reduce your alcohol intake. But I would guess, other than lifestyle changes, regular checkups, as we call them, with your doctor in terms of these other indicators would be advisable, wouldn't it be?
Absolutely. Absolutely. At least once a year, and twice a year for people over 40. Have your blood pressure checked. It's known as the silent killer. It really is something that can go under the radar until it's too late. And the sooner you realize that you do have this underlying chronic condition, the faster you can act. Implement the necessary lifestyle change. If you're already at a point where medication is required, adherence to taking your medication and lifestyle change can prolong your life and ultimately ward off a cardiac event such as a heart attack. So it really is advisable to have your regular checkups.
Yeah, and exercise?
Definitely. So the heart is a muscle, as all the muscles in the body. It needs to be exercised regularly to work optimally and to stay strong. So cardiovascular exercise is recommended 30 to 60 minutes, at least 4 times a week. And to identify whether you are actually doing cardiovascular exercise, make sure that your heart rate is slightly elevated and you have a light sweat. Things such as brisk walking, running, and swimming are great ways to incorporate cardiovascular exercise. Even if you are already doing other forms of exercise, stretching or weight training, alternate every once in a while with cardiovascular exercise or aerobic exercise that actually increase the heart rate.
Yeah, and I need to ask you this because I'm thinking somebody might be listening to this and say, oh, but I'm good, I'm fine, I'm taking my supplements and I should be fine. I mean, you shouldn't be self-diagnosing and thinking or believing that your supplements will save you from a heart attack. Or am I being melodramatic here?
There is no substitute for healthy lifestyle, unfortunately. At the end of the day, there is a space for supplementation. If people are just simply unable to get the nutrition that they require from their diet, certainly, and it can have a positive impact on health, but it's not a plaster. It's not something that you can do instead of. It's something you can do in collaboration with a healthy lifestyle to improve outcomes. At the end of the day, yeah, exercising, healthy diet, managing your stress levels, all of these things need to happen at the core of the issue. You can't treat the symptoms of an unhealthy lifestyle with supplements. You need to change the core issue, which is unhealthy lifestyle.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Nicole Jennings is, of course, from Pharma Dynamics. Please do take care. Very simple, straightforward advice there about lifestyle, because the numbers don't lie. More and more men under the age of 40, particularly in our country, are now getting heart attacks. Please do take care. Look after yourself.